Welcome back and good morning, Central Oregon. Pam McConnell joins me this morning. She is the Client Care Coordinator at Visiting Angels, and we're talking this morning about not only the warning signs for Alzheimer's, but caring for someone who cares for someone with Alzheimer's, supporting those folks. Good morning.
Good morning.
So what is Visiting Angels?
We're an in-home care agency. We offer services that support people to age at home or people with disabilities.
And how do you support folks either with Alzheimer's or people who are caring for folks with Alzheimer's?
We have caregivers that come into the home. We offer respite care for the primary caregiver if that's what people are doing, allowing them to get out, have some time for themselves, have a break.
Right.
And then we can also do direct care for the person with the disease.
So some of the warning signs of Alzheimer's, one of them is a memory loss, and I think all of us experience memory loss. So just because that happens does not mean you have Alzheimer's or another form of dementia, but one that disrupts daily life is kind of a differentiator, right?
It is, and it's also memory loss that's progressive and ongoing, so persistent and progressive. So, you know, the random forgetfulness that we all have is not necessarily an indication that you have dementia.
Right. Also, difficulty completing familiar tasks at home or at work.
Right.
That could definitely be one. Confusion about time and place.
Forgetful what day is. Oftentimes people with more of the advanced stages of Alzheimer's and dementia, you'll get sundowners, you'll see an increased level of confusion.
What about trouble understanding visual images and spatial relationships?
Well, it's a lot of your comprehension. Your dementia affects your mental functioning capacities, which is your abilities to think, reason, and memory. So yeah, spatial subjects become difficult for people to manage. You get easily confused. Numbers become very difficult. People start losing the ability to handle their finances, their checkbooks, making good choices.
You start to see that. Also misplacing things, but then also losing the ability to retrace your steps, because we all misplace things.
Right, and that happens. Unfortunately, you have people that then start to wander, or they go out for a walk, they get lost, they don't remember where they live, can't find their way home.
There are so many of these folks who are cared for by a family member. Oftentimes, though, the family member is not trained in how to care for these folks. They're just doing it because, you know, they love them. Really, these people need to educate themselves about the disease, don't they?
Absolutely. Yes, knowledge is power. The more you understand how the illness progresses, the better that you can respond to the individual as their symptoms increase. And you can avoid escalation of moods and anger outbursts, which is typical with the illness.
Also, taking care of financial, legal, and long-term planning issues is really important, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. When you get the diagnosis early on, it's best if people can then start mapping out what are your choices, what do you want to have happen, what's the care plan, what can we put in place.
Right.
Better to do it when you are able to than to wait, and then family members are forced to step in and take legal action, which is very difficult for them.
Oh, absolutely. As I know as a child, I would much rather want to know what my granny would like me to do before it becomes too late and I have to guess.
Right.
Because that's stressful for the children as well. Also, employing cognitive stimulation. What do you mean by that?
Cognitive stimulation is, there are studies out there that shows if you keep the mind active and engaged, what happens with Alzheimer's is that the cell-to-cell communication starts to break down due to the plaque deposits that are building up and the nerve cell tangles that happen. So if you can keep that mental stimulation going, it tends to hold back some of that deterioration. So games, music, playing instruments, Sudoku is a really good one. A lot of men like Sudoku. Keeping the mind active.
Support for the caregivers is critical, and I think also a caregiver knowing when they need a break, because that's okay and perfectly normal, right? And being able to find out how they can have those respite opportunities. And so you, Visiting Angels, does provide that, right?
We do. We have a minimum of 2 hours, and we go all the way up to 24 hours, 7 days a week. So and there are other agencies, our support groups out there also that I highly recommend. That there is an Alzheimer's support group in Bend and in Redmond that meets every month. Getting time for the individual that's caring for someone with Alzheimer's is huge. You have to take care of yourself, or it's difficult to take care of somebody else.
Right, because these family caregivers are employed basically 24/7.
Exactly.
In caring for these folks. So alz.org is where you can find more information with the Alzheimer's Association. And then visitingangels.com/bend is the local website for Visiting Angels. 541-617-3868 is the number to call for more information. So Pam, it was nice to have you in this morning. Thank you.
Appreciate you inviting us. Thank you.
And thank you for joining me today. I will see you right back here tomorrow.